What's up, guys? Alvaro here, and welcome to the Bilingual Stock Market channel again. On this channel, we talk about the markets, and we do it in English and Spanish as well, so you can pick your preferred language. And in this video, and as I do it Mondays through Thursdays, I want to make a quick stock market update, so I want to break down some technicals going over S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100, but also breaking down from a technical standpoint AMC Entertainment, Pfizer, Palantir, and context logic. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. And today we had, for the most part, guys, a flat day in the markets. However, we saw an unbelievable comeback in the case of the four major indices, all of them, guys: Russell, Nasdaq, Dow Jones, and S&P 500. At around noon today, the markets were in a very tricky spot, and most of the indices, despite the fact that they closed in negative territory, managed to recover a lot into the closing bell. So the Russell 2000 went down today 0.07%, Nasdaq went up 0.13%, Dow Jones went down 0.18%, and the S&P 500 went down 0.16%. And when it comes to the sectors that trade inside the S&P 500, the best performing sector today was consumer discretionary, which went up 0.47%, whereas the worst performing sector was energy, going down 1.12%. I actually closed a swing position that I had today on ExxonMobil, because it seems like, or I feel, guys, I perceive that oil isn't going to go any higher, at least in the short term. So I decided to close that position with a small profit of something like $15 or $20. And I decided to deploy that money in another stock. The two most important sectors of the markets, obviously tech and financials, were looking very ugly at noon today, but they managed to pull up, and the tech sector ended up closing today's trading session in positive territory, up 0.05%, and the financial sector went down 0.25%. But at some point today, or throughout this morning, the financial sector was down more than 1%, and that's the reason why the indices managed to came back today. And before going over the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, guys, I want to show you quickly three trades that I closed in today's trading session, starting out with Lucid Motors. I actually want to show you two trades right away, because one of the stocks that I closed a trade with today was Palantir. So I am going to show you guys that trade when I go over Palantir. So in the case of Lucid, and this was a trade that was broken down here on the channel, I purchased 150 shares on September 7 at $19.47, paying $2,920, and I ended up selling out of these 150 shares today at $21.07, and I was paid $3,161. I ended up making over here $241. I went through some pain, but I ended up closing this trade with a gain. And the other trade that I closed today, and this is a sad story, guys, was GameStop. I have been telling you, watch out for GameStop near $200, watch out for GameStop near $200. So I picked up, guys, I picked up 25 shares of GameStop on September 10 at $201.05. And my price target, and I am speaking the truth over here, today was $211 or $212. However, guys, when GameStop hit $206, I accidentally pressed the sell button, so I ended up selling accidentally my 25 shares of GameStop at $206.38, and GameStop ended up going up to $215. I ended up leaving a lot of money on the table. However, I paid for these 25 shares $5,026, and I sold out of these 25 shares today accidentally at being paid $5,159. So despite the fact that an accident occurred today with these 25 shares of GameStop. I ended up exiting this trade making $135. So profit is profit, and both of the trades that I just showed you were base hits, and base hits put us in the Hall of Fame. Okay, S&P 500. So as I just said in the introduction of this video, the S&P went down today 0.16%, and it closed today's trading session at 4,473 points. So take a look, guys, at the massive dump that we saw this morning as soon as the trading session opened. But there is an interesting fact over here from a technical standpoint. So listen up. The bears, and despite the fact that they had good momentum this morning because of this huge drop that you guys can see over here, the bears were not able, guys, to take the S&P 500 down to 4440. 4440 is a line in the sand as of now for the bears in the S&P 500. And on top of that, the bulls managed to find support at 44.45 and then 44.44, let's say for argument's sake. And then we saw, for the most part, a V-shaped recovery in the S&P 500. And mind you, guys, there are a lot, but I mean a lot of SPY calls that are expiring tomorrow. Keep in mind that tomorrow is quadruple witching. So tomorrow we are going to have a massive expiration of options, of stocks, of indices, and of future contracts. So we might see more volatility tomorrow rather than usual. So we already know that a big market maker sold a lot of SPY calls with a strike price of $450. So we are talking about, in terms of the S&P 500, we are talking about a strike price that is at 4,500. So is the market maker going to let those SPY calls expire tomorrow in the money, and therefore that market maker is going to be forced to sell shares of SPY at 4,500, whereas, I'm just saying, I'm just making a case here, guys, if the S&P 500 tomorrow closes the trading session below 4,500 or $450 on SPY, then those call options are going to expire worthless, so the market maker will not be forced to sell out of the SPY shares that are attached to those call options, and that money, that market maker is going to simply hold or keep the premium that was paid for those call options. So what I am talking about here is pretty much market manipulation, but I would really be surprised if the S&P 500 tomorrow closes above 4,500, because that implies that a lot of SPY calls are going to be expiring in the money. This is some sort of a conspiracy theory that I am putting on your table as of now. And there is an interesting fact that I wanted to share with you as well in regard to the S&P 500. So far, and today, we have 19 trading sessions in a row without seeing either a 1% drop in the S&P or a 1% gain in the S&P 500. So that implies, guys, that we are seeing, for the most part, regardless of if we have a green day or a red day in the markets, we are having narrow days when it comes to the moves that the S&P 500 is making. And taking day trades with the current market conditions that we have is very, but very challenging. And that's why most of the trades that I have closed lately are swing trades, guys, because taking day trades, I mean, we can do it. I have done it with Lucid Motors, and I have done it with Moderna and stuff like that, even with GameStop, I think. But taking day trades with the current market conditions is extremely, but extremely challenging. So that's an interesting fact that I wanted to put on your table. 19 trading sessions in a row without seeing either a 1% drop or a 1% gain in the S&P 500. So In technical terms, obviously, guys, the most important area of support in tomorrow's trading session is going to be 4440, which has turned into a nightmare for the bears in the S&P 500. And in terms of overhead resistance, we are talking about 4485, which is an area in which the bulls failed a few minutes ago, and they also failed yesterday into the closing bell. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the Nasdaq 100. And guys, I didn't say this, so before going over the Nasdaq 100, in my opinion, if the bears don't take on 4440, let's say in the next few trading sessions, I don't know if we are actually going to see a correction in the markets. And mind you, when it comes to September, the third week of September is usually the worst week of the month. So we can make the case that the bears are going to have a second chance next week in order to take the S&P 500 lower. We will see what that plays out like. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the good old Nasdaq 100. And the Nasdaq 100 also had a very nice recovery, not as amazing as the V-shaped recovery that we saw in the S&P. So we opened the trading session, we saw a sizable drop, and initially, guys, the bears of the NDX managed to break to the downside 15,400 points, which is a very important area of lower support on the NDX. Then we saw, the bulls managed to find support at 15,370 points, and then we saw a V-shaped recovery. So I am going to pull up here the 4-hour chart, RSI at 52 points, very healthy from a technical standpoint. So we are pretty much in the same spot that we were yesterday. The bulls managed to close today's trading session at 15,515 points. So whatever happens on the NDX above 15,500 points is bullish, and the NDX went up today 0.08%. So the main task for the bears in tomorrow's trading session would be breaking to the downside at least 15,500 points. And now let's go ahead and take a look quickly at the first stock of this video, AMC Entertainment, which went down today 1.71%, and it closed today's trading session at $46.04. So I am going to pull up here the 1-hour chart, and the bulls of AMC found support today, guys, at a spot, at an area, at a level that has turned into a new area of support for the bulls of AMC at $46. $46 acted as lower support today. It also acted as lower support back on September 9. It also did it back on September 8th, but it also acted as overhead resistance back on August 30th. So I'm thinking, guys, that if tomorrow we happen to see AMC consolidating slightly above $46, that could be a sign that the bulls of this stock are gathering momentum in order to make a push higher and potentially taking on what has turned into a nightmare for the bulls of AMC. The overhead resistance at $48.50 or $49. The bulls of AMC failed at that level today, and they also failed back on September 8th, and they also failed back on September 7th. So watch out for this push to the upside, guys, because take a look at your relative strength index on the 1-hour chart that is at 40 points, very healthy in AMC terms. So don't be surprised, guys, if the bulls start to consolidate slightly $46. And if the bulls make a push higher and take on $48.50 or $49 on good volume and momentum, I think that they could be easily filling the gap up to the other important area of overhead resistance for AMC near $52. So if we pick up shares of AMC near $46, and if we sell out of those shares near $48.50, we are looking at a 5% profit. And if that area of resistance happens to be taken on and the bulls fill the gap up to $52, then we are talking about an 11% profit. And if I pull up quickly over here the 4-hour chart, the golden cross is still intact, because the bulls are trading between the moving averages on the 4-hour chart. So watch out for AMC tomorrow starting to consolidate slightly above $46. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the second stock of this video, and I think that this is the very first time that I am going to go over Pfizer here in the channel. So Pfizer went down today 0.67%, and it closed today's trading session at $44.47. And yes, this is definitely the very first time that I go over Pfizer here on the channel. So the first thing that I want to point out over here, guys, is the relative strength index of Pfizer. It is at 35 points. And if you guys take a look over here at the relative strength index of Pfizer, this is a stock, guys, that usually doesn't trade inside oversold territory. So the fact that the relative strength index of the stock of this company is approaching 30 points, that implies that we are going to have sooner rather than later a lot of technical traders and algos detecting this technical move, and this is buy zone, guys, because every single time that Pfizer or every single time that the relative strength index of Pfizer has dropped below 30 points, then the stock of this company has come across with a lot of buyers. So tomorrow I am going to keep a close watch on $43.90. $43.90 is a previous area of overhead resistance in which the bulls of Pfizer felt back in late July. I truly believe that that area of former overhead resistance should act now, should provide a good support for the bulls of Pfizer. If we open a position on Pfizer at $43.80, then my price target, or our price target, could be the next important area of overhead resistance for Pfizer near $47.60, which is an area of overhead resistance in which the bulls of Pfizer felt back on September 7. If we were able to take this trade the way that I am describing it, picking up some shares at $43.90 or $44 and selling out of those shares near $47.70, we could be making an 8% profit. That's a very nice profit. And you guys can see over here, let me zoom in here, on the 4-hour chart, the clear formation of a good old death cross. So you guys can see the 50 SMA crossing below or crossing under the 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart. This death cross unfolded back on September 13. So if that death cross keeps on affecting Pfizer on a negative way, we could see more downside, guys. Definitely. So we need to make sure that this former area of overhead resistance acts like a new support near $43.90 before starting a position on Pfizer. And the third stock of this video is going to be good old Palantir. And in the case of Palantir, we got good news today. Palantir went on an absolute tear today, guys, going up 5.72%, and it closed today's trading session at $28.63. And so let me pull up here the live news tab, and I think that Palantir is partnering up, if I can talk, with a company from the United Kingdom. And I think, there you go. So WeHo, I don't know. I must be butchering the name of this company. So let me pull up here the news. Okay, so Manchester, England, WeHo, I don't know how to pronounce the name of this company. A global leader in connected vehicle data and Palantir technologies, today detailed the early success of a new partnership aiming to solve the most ambitious problem of the mobility revolution: Then it says, as the world move at furious pace to reduce emissions, improve vehicle safety, and design resilient smart cities, WeHo and Palantir are looking to create an integrated data ecosystem for the automotive industry and beyond. The two companies discussed the partnership, Palantir's investment in WeHo or whatever the pronunciation of this company is, which entered into a definitive agreement to merge with Virtuoso Acquisition Corp, and their progress to date in a video published today. So we have here some sort of acquisition corp. So I think that this company WeHo is going to go public as well, right? Through a SPAC. I need to research further about it, guys. So the market saw this news with positive eyes. Let me see. The partnership between WeHo and Palantir is ultimately about delivering on the promise of connected vehicle data to improve the way we live, work, and travel for the better, said Sarah Larner, Executive Vice President of Strategy and Innovation at WeHo. It's about putting our data for good products and services to work and making a safer and better transportation experience. The partnership is accelerating the invaluable connected vehicle data insights we can give. So I have to research more about this Virtuoso Acquisition Corp. If any of you guys happen to know anything about this special purpose acquisition company, please drop a comment down below. So this partnership was seen by the markets with positive eyes, and Palantir went on a tear, guys. And by the way, let me show you the trade that I closed today on Palantir. And this is a trade that took a lot of patience, guys. So let me show you. So I need to upload my ID. How about that, guys? Here on Robinhood. I'll do it later. So in the case of this position that I closed today on Palantir, I opened this position, guys, back on February 16. I purchased 100 shares at $29.49, paying $2,949, and then on April 1st, I purchased 50 more shares at $23.37. So I ended up paying for these 150 shares $117, and today I sold out of these 150 shares at $28.63. Palantir was very overbooked on the 4-hour chart, and I decided to close this position. I was paid $4,294, so I ended up making over here $180. Another basis, and those are the ones that put you in the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, and if we take a look here at the 4-hour chart, so the relative strength index of Palantir is very elevated, guys. It is at 77 points. So I wouldn't be surprised if the stock of this company tomorrow or in the upcoming days happens to pull back a bit. And if so, we can expect Palantir to find support at $27.35. $27.35 is a previous area of overhead resistance that already acted as such for the bulls of this stock back in late June, and it also acted as resistance back on March 12. So we are talking about a former area of overhead resistance that now should act as support. So if Palantir happens to pay a visit down to this area, $27.40-ish, I am going to be very tempted in order to pick up some more shares of Palantir, in which case my price target is going to be the next important area of overhead resistance near $30.49. $30.49 is a previous area of overhead resistance in which the bulls of Palantir felt back in late February, but it also acted as support back in early February. So if we were able to take this trade the way that I am describing it, picking up some shares at $27.44 and selling out of those shares near $30, we could be making a 9% profit. That would be a very solid profit. So watch out for a pullback in the case of Palantir, and watch out for a potential visit down to the $27.40. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the last stock of this video, which is going to be Wish, Context Logic, which went down today 1.56% and it closed today's trading session at $6.31. So I am going to zoom in here on the 4-hour chart. And guys, can Wish go lower than $6? Yes, it can, obviously. However, I think that, and taking into account that this is a meme stock, that is one of the favorite ones for the Wall Street crowd, we might see a push higher of Wish. And by the way, I haven't looked at the Context Logic chart interest lately. I have to check. I have to double check on that. Last time I checked, it was at 17 or 18%. It was not that high. So I think that we are going to see a push higher anytime soon, or at some point in time, because as I just said, this is a stock that the Wall Street bets crowd tends to buy here and there, right? So if Wish keeps on consolidating slightly above $6, which acted as lower support for the stock of this company back in mid-August, I think that as a speculative trade, guys, I'm going to be tempted. And take a look at the price of the stock of this company, guys, $6. So I could be picking up 200 shares, as I just said, like a fund trade. And if we pick up some shares of Wish, guys, near $6, then a possible price target would be $7.60. $7.60 is an area of overhead resistance in which the bulls of Wish failed in recent days, but we are also talking about a former area of support that acted as such for the stock of this company back in late May and also back in early June. So if we were able to take this trade the way that I am describing it, picking up some shares at $6.05, $6.10, and if we sell out of those shares at $7.50, we could be making a 20% profit. That would be a very solid profit. So watch out for Context Logic, guys. Keep on consolidating slightly above $6 per share. And with Context Logic, I am going to wrap up the video. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you very much for hanging out with me once again. Remember, and keep in mind, guys, that here on the Bilingual Stock Market channel, we are posting stock market update videos Mondays through Thursdays, 3 or 4 hours after the market closes. So if you want to get all of the notifications of all of our videos in a timely manner, you have to be subscribed to the channel, but you also need to activate the notification bell right up there. Follow us on Instagram as well, guys, at Bilingual Stock Market. And remember that this is the Bilingual Stock Market channel, the YouTube channel in which we talk about the markets, but we do it in English and Spanish as well, so you can pick your preferred language. But most importantly, this is the YouTube channel in which we know that the wonderful world of Wall Street is not for geniuses, it is for entrepreneurs just like you guys and myself. My name is Alvaro, and I will see you guys on Sunday, because remember, we also post stock market videos on Sundays. Peace out, and you guys have a great weekend. Bye.